Here is my Rice Krispie treat snowman. And as you can see, listen, he's quite firm. I'm going to begin by giving him a whole coat, one thin coat of the icing. And then I'll put him back in the refrigerator for a little bit, and I'll prepare the icing bag and begin to decorate. This is going to be a thin layer, like I said, just to begin. And you can see here that it is lumpy, so this will help also to smooth it out a little bit, so that when you put your decorations on there, it won't be so bumpy. Doesn't have to be anything. Doesn't matter if the Rice Krispies are shining through. Forgive my hand here. I don't want to have it in the way, but okay, I have begun to frost him just as a base coat, but I see here that there's some places here that my line isn't well deformed for the rim of his hat, his toboggan. So I'm going to take a knife and use a serrated edge here, like a bread knife, and I'm going to just trim a little bit away to kind of give it a clean line, so we'll have a clean edge for that tip of the hat. See how easy it is to cut away. It's using a serrated knife. It is not difficult at all. You just kind of get the shape in your head, and you have to shape up a little bit. Not much to it, but just to show you how, just in case you'll want to do this to yours. Okay, now here's the snowman. He's got a thin coat all over, and like I said, there's no easy way not take off any excess, just so there won't be a powder there. But I'm going to put him back in the refrigerator and let that set up for just a little bit while I prepare the icing bag. The reason I chose to do this is because I wanted to let some of us out there know you don't have to be a professional to do this. It doesn't take just the minimal amount of tools. And you don't have to be a pro. The everyday moms can do this for their kids, or just because they want to as a hobby. I'm taking one of the Wilton bags here, and I've got one of the star tips. So I'm taking it to put it down inside the bag, and you push it down as far as it'll go, and then you cut up just enough to put the tip through. You may have to go back in and trim it again. If you do, that's okay. Just pop it back out. Okay. Take the tip, push it down through, and push it as far as it'll go, and see about how much you need the tip to cut off. Maybe about a ½ inch or so. Push your tip down, and if it's not enough, pop it back up. But you don't want to cut off too much. Just snip a little bit more off of it, and you want to be sure that it comes down far enough to see how this one's not. I don't know if you can see it here, but the plastic's still down where the star tips are, so I need to take it back out and cut up just a little bit more, maybe 1/8 of an inch, just so I clear the tip of the tube. I'll push it back down in and see how now the tip is up to here. So I've cleared the slots in the tip. Okay. Once I've pushed it down to secure it, then I'm going to take my bag, and I'm going to take it at the opening here, and to avoid a mess, fold it back like a cup on a shirt, and pull it up where you have it, and hold it like this with your hands. Some people could set this in a glass so that they can put the icing in. You can do it whichever way you want, but I just found this is the easiest. Fill it up too far, because then it makes it more difficult holding it as you're decorating. So just pull that tip around, and take and give it a twist at the top and squeeze it down to the tip. So you see it ready to come out through the tip. And I like to put some practice swirls on the paper or whatever I'm working with so that I can make sure that there's no air bubbles and that it's coming out okay. And you can see it's coming out pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead with it. Now I'm not going to do the hat white, I'm going to do it in a different color, green or blue. So I'm just going to concentrate on doing the face and the body. Okay, now we've had it in the refrigerator for a little while. We've had the icing setting up, getting a little bit hard. So we're going to go ahead and finish the bottom layer. Is toboggan in green, and I'm using the Wilton's leaf green icing color. And it doesn't take very much. And you never want to use the same toothpick. A little bit of the color goes a long way. But you never want to use the same toothpick twice. You never want to put icing down inside of it. Now I like to use the Wilton's because it is not like the liquid that you get from the grocery store, because that tends to thin out your icing too much. Okay, now his body and his head and his toboggan is completely covered, as you can see here, and we're going to do some decorations. We're going to add his eyes, his scarf, and his buttons, and his mouth. And I'm just going to be using gumdrops, whatever I've got here, to do the decorating. Okay, there you have him in front and his scarf hanging down to the side, and we're going to get ready and put some eyes on him. Now I've taken some gumdrops and I've flattened them out to make the buttons, so we're just going to place it right into the icing. Place another one here at the bottom. Now just take gumdrops and just cut the tips off of them like that, and take them and flatten them out. You can use other candies. I'm just using these because that's what I have. If I'd have been better prepared, I'd have got something, a different color for the eyes. But I don't, so we're going to go with the green. We're going to match his scarf, and we're just going to We'll use the tips for his eyes because his eyes aren't supposed to be, aren't supposed to be as big. So there's one eye. There's the other. And he's starting to look a little bit like a snowman. And let's see here. I'm going to take the same gumdrop for his mouth, and I'm going to flatten it out. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to make it a string. So I'm going to take my scissors, and I'm going to go around the outside of it like this and cut a thin line. Oops, there we go. And this will be his mouth. There we go. And now I just need a little bit of a snippet for his nose. And I think I'm going to go ahead and use the white because his whole body is white. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and leave that white one there. Now there you have it. That's just to show that you don't need special equipment. Anybody can do this, by all means. I'm not a pro, and you can tell by looking at it. But it's just something fun that you and the kids can do. I hope that you've enjoyed watching, and I hope you'll give it a try. I'm going to zoom in here a little bit so you can see his face with the gumdrops, his variegated sweater. Now down around the bottom, I'm going to set him on a bed of white cotton candy before I put him on his plate that he'll be sitting on for the demonstration. So I hope you've enjoyed, like I said. I hope you have a Merry Christmas, and by all means, please try it.